Cameron, can you just tell me a little bit about Team Arrow and how you've got here to the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge?
Yeah, certainly. So we're an industry team with a university affiliation, and the industry side of it is mainly technology and engineering companies that are based in southeast Queensland. We've got a real passion about sustainability. The company that I run is Integral's had a long history in that space, and we decided that this is the premier engineering event in the world. It's in our backyard. And we haven't had a team from Queensland since the late 90s, and we thought, look, this is ridiculous. We really need to do something about this. So we put an industry group together. We got ourselves lined up with QUT, who are providing some amazing students, and we started developing this vehicle. So.
Tell me a little bit about the vehicle's history. It's new, but the parts of it aren't that new, are they?
That's right. Yeah, no, parts of it aren't very new at all. So it's got an interesting history. I mean, certainly we designed it from the ground up, and it's been built from the ground up. But we've built this team really on a shoestring budget. We're probably operating on a tenth the budget of some of the international teams, if not even less. So we've got some parts in here that are quite historical. The motor that put us on pole position today is a 20-year-old motor that first ran in the '96 World Solar Challenge. So we certainly haven't gone out and spent big on a few things. We found it in the back of a shed and asked if we could borrow it, and here it is. It's on the car and delivering beautifully. So.
Well, you got pole position today, congratulations. Obviously the fruits of some very hard labour. How have your preparations been since you got here in Darwin?
Pretty good. I mean, the car's been behaving really well for the last month or so, and I think that's really what's probably benefited us, was we just haven't had a lot of big issues. We've designed the vehicle very conservatively. A lot of the engineers that are supporting the student engineers are industry engineers, so they're used to designing things with more focus on getting a really high quality longevity outcome, if that's the way, maybe there's a way to put it. Yeah. So it's built really solid, and I think that served us well in the last couple of weeks. It's just behaved beautifully, and with just a little bit of tuning this week, and we haven't had a hiccup from it, so it's been great. So.
Let's get this in perspective. It's not just your first Bridgestone World Solar Challenge, it's your first solar event.
Yes, this is the first solar event we've ever raced in, so in many respects we're way behind so many of the teams here. It's been a real delight walking up and down the pit this week, just going, wow, look what they've got, look what they've got. Oh goodness, we could really do with a bit of that. So, some of our stuff is pretty simple. We're really learning a lot on the fly. I mean, we're absolutely amazed to be where we are, to be honest, but it's a great result for the team and all the effort that's gone in the last 12 months. So.
Just how surprised are you?
We knew, if you'd asked us a month ago, I would have said, really sorry. When we got here, I think we looked around and we went, hang on, we're not as far behind here as we thought we were. We've actually got a pretty good car, and some of the bits of this car are really solid, and we were really proud of that. So we knew we were quick. Did we think we would be mixing it with multi-million-dollar machines today? No way. We just are absolutely astonished. But I put a lot of that down to our driver, Chris, too. He just delivered the perfect lap, and you can't ask. It's a real challenge driving these vehicles. They drive completely differently than a normal car, and he'd absolutely delivered for us today. So yeah.
Because it's designed effectively to drive not just in a straight line, but that's what the challenge is. And here you are going round and round a track. It's quite different.
Absolutely. It's not designed to go around corners at all. We've designed the whole vehicle basically to take 2 corners in 3,000 kilometres. So, and then we go and do this to it. So, look, it is very different. And there's lots of compromises you have to make in a vehicle to do that sort of design and to achieve the outcomes. It only weighs 180 kilos, so it's so little, so light, and yet throw it around here on a tight, twisty track. It's quite difficult. So that's really where Chris came in. He's just done a great job with the driving and our driving team. So we've got 4 drivers, and it is a really interesting mix of drivers. There's some interesting dynamics. We've tried to keep the drivers as people who are associated with the team. So we have Chris, who is our main driver and driver instructor, and he's done some amateur racing before, but he's a great driver. Amy from QUT, so one of the students. Johnny from TEAS, who is one of our major sponsors. And then we've got Jane, and Jane actually celebrated her 50th birthday earlier this week. So she is having a unique birthday present. She's going to drive a solar car across Australia, and she's very, very excited about that. So it's a different mix of fairly experienced drivers, a little bit older driving team probably again. So hopefully that'll bode well for us.
So where do you hope to make it to by the end of the first day?
Well, the strategy for us is very much it's a conservative strategy. We're going to try and maintain some good energy consumption all the way down. Honestly, it's going to depend a lot on the weather and what the weather gives us. As I said before, it's the first time we've ever run this race. We don't really have expectations other than to finish. Our goal was to come here, be competitive and finish the race. That's what we're trying to do. So, we're really going to build our strategy for the race about doing exactly that. Our goal is to get to Adelaide and be competitive. And if we get there and we're competitive, we'll be a very happy result for all of us, I think. So, yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.